touched on this before, but you said, you and the filmmakers and the writer understood a certain loneliness through the artist's way. I can speak on that because to me, watching her, it's such an intimate, you're in almost every, shot of the film. And she just seems so lonely to me.
But you don't see any of her friends. I mean, it's so interesting. She wears black, she wears makeup. You don't see her friends. It's like it's a completely isolated,
And she has a big shield up. She has the makeup and the clothes.
Yeah.
And there's this huge shield. And there's very, very few moments when I think she breaks out of that. Mm-hmm. And if she does, it's with her sons.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that, because that was also something I talked to the director about, like, don't make it like a cliche about the crying clown. I wouldn't be able to handle that. There's so many bad ways you can go when you sort of portray an actress, and we've seen it so many times being embarrassingly awful.
Or cliche.
And for me, it was like, if I'm doing an actress, I have to be honest. I mean, I have to do because a lot of actors are portrayed like naive and just full of emotions, and for me, that's like, the great actors I know, they're really intelligent and they're almost cynical. And they're very, very aware of what's going on, and they know where the camera is, or they know where the audience is, I wouldn't call it manipulative, but in a way they're cool, they're not like sobbing emotional wrecks. It's
very aware.
So I think that I love that about it, that of course I'm an emotional wreck sometimes, but also she's really cool.
She knows when to put herself in control again.
Exactly. And that's, we talked a lot about that, but to be that and to be so insightful and to, for yourself and for others and not be able to, hitch, what do you call it? Hitch, what do you call it when you...
Hitch a wagon?
To relate, whatever. And to be that kind of person and not be able to relate or it must be so hard because you can always see it. You can always see yourself outside, and that was really a big part of doing this. Like as an actress or actor, you do see yourself from outside, and it's all about not doing that. It's all about. I mean, the art of acting is about forgetting yourself, but when the camera goes off, you're so into. You're so conscious about yourself, and
she seems very disconnected from
herself
when she's not acting.
It's just a normal word I look for.
That's
connected.
Okay. Disconnected, yeah.
I don't know why I said that.
And when she does, that scene when she's trying to connect with that man from the bar, it's so hard for her. I mean, personally, I think he's kind of a creep anyway, so I understand. But it's just the act of relating to another human being. Yeah. When she's not on stage, when she's not the actor, seems very difficult, and she just kind of goes back into this shell where it's
never takes her coat off. She's like,
no.
It's weird, but and that secludedness, that loneliness, I think that is. Sorry, drinking water too fast before I coughed. And that loneliness and that secludedness and that isolation and everything, I think that is very typical for artists, and that is why if they don't do drugs or alcohol, they have sex with every woman they meet or every man they meet, or they have some kind of drug in their life, or the work is the drug, or
an addiction.
We are. I can't say we because some actors will tell me to shut up, but I mean we are difficult creatures like anybody else, But I think a lot of us fights with this. Trying to get into the real world, and that's maybe why we chose what we wanted to do. Because when you first start acting, that's just because you want to be loved, And then when you get over that, and you know that, and you stop hallucinating your work with that, you have to define why are you doing this? And most actors I know, of course, love their work, but they have this kind of love-hate relationship with it because you're a very private person on one hand, and on the other hand, you do what you do, and it's such a big
making
dilemma.
Yourself very vulnerable.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of being a private person.
Exactly. So
and
I
it's
think
thrilling
that is what
and
I'm
terrifying.
trying to portray, trying to be a normal person, but just don't know how. And of course I'm not her, so I did a lot of therapy, and I read a lot of books, and I'm very working every day with myself, so